Hello, this is a video on how to play Crazy Eights. Now, there are a number of different versions of Crazy Eights. In some versions you have 5 cards dealt to each player, in some you have 6, in some you have 7, in some you have 8. In this version we have 8 cards dealt to each player. And so before we begin with the rules, let's just begin with what you need. So you're going to need a 52 card deck. If you're playing with 2 to 5 players, in this case it's 2 to 4 players, because we're drawing and giving 8 cards per player. So if you're following this video, and dealing 8 cards per player, then it's 52 cards, from 2 to 4 players. You can have more players, but then you need an additional deck. So you'd need 104 cards rather than the standard 52 you would have, if you were just playing normally. Now, what you have to do is now, um, so you have your 52 cards and you have a pen and a paper to keep score. Let's start out with dealing. So you're going to deal the cards one at a time to each player. And so each player needs 8 cards, but you don't just go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 all on one player. You deal them one at a time, and so you see here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and it's going in a circle, right? You see? Now, once you're finished dealing the player, now you discard the first card. So once you finish dealing, you want to discard the top card of the remaining deck is placed in the middle, face up, and that starts what is called the discard pile. So the objective of the game is to be the player with the lowest score. When a player scores 100 points or more. So the first player to 100 points is the loser, and so once any player gets to 100 points, the game ends, and the player with the lowest points is the winner. And so um, the way it works is your objective is to get rid of all of your cards. And so getting rid of all of your cards allows you to ensure that you have finished the round. And since getting rid of all your cards is the objective, the player with the lowest points is the winner, because that means that they were able to get rid of their cards the quickest. Now, the player left to the dealer is the first to play. In this case, I guess it doesn't really matter though. And so the way you discard a card is by playing a card with a matching suit or a matching number. And so this is a spade, so we want to play a spade of any value, or a matching number, a 9 of any suit. So we have a 2 here, and we'll play that. And so as you can see, now there's a diamond here. So we could either play a 4 of any suit, or any number of the diamond suit, and so that's what we'll go with here. And so you can see that the objective of the game is just to get rid of cards by playing either the same suit or the same number. In this case, we have a heart, but we also have a queen, so I'll play the queen. Now, what you just saw there, the 8 is called crazy for a reason, in that it can be played at any time, and the person who plays it gets to determine the suit that the next player has to play. And so that is basically it. You just want to get rid of all of your cards, and at the same time, so be the first one to get rid of all your cards by playing cards that are either of the same suit or the same color. Um, and if you have an 8, it can change the suit that the next player has to play. Now, in this case, we don't have we don't have any 5s, and we don't have any clubs. So we have to play our 8. Notice that we have 2 spades, so I'm going to pick spades. Now, if you have multiple of the same card, you can drop them down. So that's what you saw those 2 players do there. And so he had multiple 10s, so he dropped both of them down. And right there, you just saw. Now, let's take a minute to pause and just pass for what happened here. Now, once again, let's recap. What's the objective of the game? The objective of the game is to get rid of all of your cards by playing either the same suit or the same number as the card in the discard pile. Now, that's how you win a round, and the player with the lowest points. So a round finishes when one player has played all of its cards, and the player with the lowest points once one player hits 100 points, the game is done, and the player with the lowest points is the winner. Now, points are scored based off of the value of the cards you have left, and so you might say, okay, so now you'll understand why we want to get rid of cards. If you get rid of cards, you have less value in your deck, and so you'll have less points when the round finishes. So I have an ace here. The value of an ace is 1. That means if the round were to end here, if Mike were to somehow have 0 cards and he finishes the round and the round ends, I would have 1 point on my tally. That would be less than, say, Lisa, who has this many cards, and you add them all up and she gets like 30 points. And so, since the objective of the game is getting rid of cards, the less points you have, the better you are doing, because that means that you have gotten rid of more cards. Now, aces are 1 points, 2s to 10s are face value. If the round finishes and you have an 8 in your hand, that is 50 points on you. So you have put yourself at a great disadvantage. Now, if you have a face card, that's 10 points. So jacks, kings, and queens are all 10 points. And so basically that's just the objective. The gameplay, the round ends when a player gets rid of all of their cards. And once one player reaches 100 points, the game is over. And the player with the lowest points wins. Points are obtained by adding up all the value of all of your cards at the end of the round. And so the suit has been changed to spades, and it's my turn. And so if I play this ace, I win. So I mean, in this case, it's not keeping score. But in an actual game, you would keep score. And so that's pretty much it. It's quite a simple game. You just discard by playing the same suit or same number, and you keep track of points. The first player to 100 points loses, and a round finishes after one player has gotten rid of all of his cards, and then you tally up all the points at the round by using addition to add up all of the card values. And then once one player hits 100 points, the player with the lowest points is the winner. And so that's pretty much it. It's quite a simple game, but it's quite fun as well, and I hope you guys enjoyed.